Wayback Machine. It was a couple of months ago. You were at the White House. You were talking about your company's efforts. You had been to the White House before as the guest of Barack Obama, but for some reason, some on the political left saw you at Trump's White House and blew a gasket.
Well, Steve, I was there invited to be a commissioner on the White House Initiative on Hispanic Prosperity, which was a great honor. And also I was there to give back 2 million pounds of food because the company in this pandemic has done very good. Our workers courageously have worked. We've worked safely, and we've been able to increase the wages of our employees. And with the blessings that we have of doing so well,
Right.
we wanted to give back, and we announced that, and we went well beyond the 2 million pounds. This year we'll give close to 4 million pounds of food. But in announcing that, I said that the country was blessed to have a president like President Trump.
Right.
And apparently, when you invoke God or blessings, that doesn't sit well with people. There was calls for boycott, and then a boycott. And the support has been amazing around the country. It's run into people all over the place. So we've.
So far, the company named Goya for grocery products had been closely associated with the left side. He was actually had a close connection with the Barack Obama administration. He actually had been spotted with the President Obama by being part of his president administration at the time. But right after following from the coronavirus, people actually noticed that Goya Food CEO started to hang out with Donald Trump. He was actually the inspector of this Hispanic food delivery and the conveyance. That was really the reason Goya products were endorsed by Ivanka Trump and Donald Trump. They've been constantly they were at some point were trying to be a high-ranking ambassador of Goya products, right? So they already actually committed 2 million pounds of food, but they actually, this person who's been actually on top of the Goya Food Commander Board said there will be 4 million pounds in the near future to support more people in need. But they were having, while he was actually part of the ceremonious announcement, they're having a certain invocation. It means they were having a religious ceremony, or even there was, simply thanking God as a part of initiative. That was never been appreciated. The certain folks from the left side felt, this is really furious. Like, some people felt that this is really this is really like blowing a casket. Blowing a casket means, it's really kind of a blowing a fuse, similar to that type of a rage. That means it angered certain people who never actually felt comfortable with this type of religious practices or Donald Trump's offbeat coronavirus practices. Think about it. In the midst of the disaster, instead of asking people to carry more face masks or coverings, they've been actually talking about distributing products from the certain commercial company. And that's really ridiculously improper. And especially this Hispanic representative in the commercial sector somehow tried to be a mouthpiece for Donald Trump's disastrous coronavirus management. So many felt that, this is outrageous, why they were doing it. Now we've been actually talking about stocking up the canned goods from Goya Food. Is that all we can think of at this moment? So many people are dying. Definitely that type of name calling or even a different type of profanity was indeed there, because they actually really like to present themselves as God-fearing people. There was invocation like this. Normally Republicans or any religiously devout and pious people like to insert a bit of a portion devoted to God's, devoted to praising Lord. Like, invocation is definitely the prayer. They just really want to actually say thank you. But many of them are really part of a procedure, not necessarily a religious one. Because there had been a certain type of Supreme Court case. Is that Engel versus Vital? Am I getting it correct? Oh, no, that's the Santa Fe. If my understanding is correct, that Supreme Court landmark case was Santa Fe. And the religion, not necessarily based upon the religious reasons, but certain ceremonial invocation would be tolerated if and only if those type of pomp and circumstance were indeed intended to uphold the existing traditions and conventions in the society. Think about it. If you ever actually witness a secular president who somehow is enabled to make a solemn oath, who is being sworn into the office, then there will be a Bible that would be adopted regardless of a particular religion, or unless there is extreme demand coming from a different religious member, then the President of the United States would make solemn oath while putting one hand on the Bible, the Holy Bible from the Christian community. But this is a part of the tradition. That's really the reason, despite the religious color, this type of non-secular activity can be tolerated. Even though the U.S. Constitution absolutely guarantees the freedom of religion, non-believers or even secular laymen can also be equally respected, because there is a perfect separation between church and state. This is really the fundamental. However, you can still actually witness the phrase like "in God we trust" on the back of the dollar bills. These type of argument could be acceptable because that's respecting and revering the tradition that has been deeply rooted in the fundamentals of the American society. That's a real reason. Well, I'm not really so certain about the case name. Was that in Santa Fe? Yeah. That's a really interesting. Because, Goya Fuad CEO all of a sudden started to make a friendship with the Donald Trump administration, despite his history with the Obama administration. He was even actually spotted to be an early supporter of the liberal groups for whatever political reasons or business interests, I don't know. But he was even actually being seen by many people when Obama was in charge of the White House. And now he's been really a teacher's pet in Donald Trump administration, and he actually committed almost up to 2 million pounds of Goya food for initiative to disseminate emergency commodities in the name of the Hispanic Food Initiative. Indeed. And this company would like to double down on that effort by increasing that amount to 4 million pounds. And there had been a certain religious comments like, God bless you, or even the invocation based upon the Christian faith and the beliefs. And some people found it very awkward. That was the reason, especially the liberals were somewhat upset. They actually blew a casket. That's really the argument echoing. And they even actually said, oh, we're going to boycott Goya. Let's try not to buy Goya food anymore. We can actually find a different alternative. That was really the argument. But he actually insists on the very freedom allowed in this country. You can actually do whatever you like to do. And he actually considered himself and his company very blessed to be part of the Trump administration's effort to reach out to regular folks who could otherwise probably not be assisted properly. Yeah, I really know Goiaba garbanzo. I actually purchased so many of the chickpeas from Goiaba. And I really remember that because during the summer, Ivanka Trump even actually talked about the Goiaba. So as people tried to stack up their pantry with the canned goods from Goya, like, sure,